Most awesome paintball field around. CPX Sports. That's just me adding some stuff. Hey, Justin, Social Paintball, and part one of Living Legends 5. Getting ready to leave the airport here with my two buddies, Chad and Sean, and see the plane sitting there on the runway. And we run into problems right away. Let's just say some of my companions here aren't frequent flyers, so Chad runs into a problem with DSA right away. Let's
Chad, what do you think about packing mags and carrying on?
So Shad actually had packed his magazines that go to his Tiberius 9.1 in his carry-on. There were three of them, and there was quite a prolonged discussion about whether or not they'd allow those on. So we couldn't believe he did it. We were just shaking our heads. And only in a town like Bangor, Maine, could you actually get allowed to bring those on the carry-on. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else any other location. And the gentleman who let us on, thanks, and definitely told us that was not going to fly anywhere else and never again. So already some adventures. We hadn't even left town. So we headed out flying to Detroit.
I wonder if the GPS works on in the air. Sean, what are you doing?
And I was trying out with the GPS on my contour camera. That's what I'm using here. You see Sean. Sean's drawn some pictures there with his DS. Him and Shad having a good time. He's just messing with Shad with his DS. He's put some hearts on there.
You know you're sleeping in his room?
So we're having a good time razzing each other, flying into Detroit.
So here we are in Detroit, following Sean. There's a super fast walker.
And Detroit's kind of a cool airport. They have underneath, connecting two terminals, they have this huge tunnel with an art installation with lights and sound, and it's a really cool kind of psychedelic kind of area. So if you ever get a chance to fly through Detroit, and you don't have to change terminals, you should at least just go down and check it out. It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, huh?
So took off from Detroit, no issues.
Here's Sean and I.
As you can see, Shad, he manages to get the nice seat beside a very fine-looking lady who actually Sean met in the terminal. She spilled yogurt on him. True story. It's kind of funny. And she ended up being seated beside Shad. And so you got the two big boys, me and Sean, crammed in one seat, and then kind of a small companion here. He's around 5'2". Shad is nice and comfy, and he's got his beautiful companion, and he's talking it up with her whole way. So we definitely took the opportunity to razz him.
Hey Shad, you comfortable over there? Yeah? Glad you got a lot of room. Say hi.
What a player. So it was a good flight. Fun times.
Seems like no time at all when you're talking to Shad.
We had to pick on him a little bit. So we get into Chicago, Chi-Town, and pick up our ride. We got the Dodge Caravan, Grand Caravan, all loaded. Pretty nice ride. One little tip for you here: if you're traveling friends, you got to rent a vehicle. Get one of these suckers because these seats fold into these huge compartments in the floor. And if you leave the seats folded up, you've got a great place to store stuff. You could even turn one into a cooler. I'm not saying we did or nothing, but if you wanted to fill one with ice and put drinks in there, then you could possibly do that, or at least hide your gear down there. So. Just a little traveling tip for you. And this is common with Sean. He's I don't know, borderline Tourette's or something. He hollers out. Actually, I think he does have Tourette's. He hollers out at people out the out the windows. It's kind of funny until somebody hollers back or gets mad.
Every house looks the same.
It does.
They put some different rocks on the front just to change it. Yeah.
Right?
Get drunk one night.
Oh, sorry, I try you checking out.
Yeah.
51, is this 5127? No, this is 5439. Way off, buddy.
So it's a little drive. We make it CPX Sports, and this video is really for you players thinking about coming to play this next event. Living Legends 6 would be next year. Next May, it should be the weekend before Memorial Day weekend. That's usually when they do it. And at this event, they have both Living Legends, which is a large 2-day scenario event, almost 3-day really if you count what goes on Friday. And you also have the MPPL Chicago Open going on at the same location. So you have a pro event, tournament event, as well as a scenario event, same location, both crowds. So it's really a one-stop shop. So this is just a kind of overview video for you folks thinking about going. I did this last year, so I thought I'd do this format for the first video this year, and we'll have some in-game, but I want to take you kind of through the field locations and give you kind of a good start on what to do when you get there. So here's the facility. You can see there on the right, what we just panned by, there was the Living Legends sort of parking lot. On the left here, we have MPPL. You can see it's a really large venue. See all the cars there, a lot happening. And as we pan around here, you see the opening ceremonies, safety orientation meeting, and general announcements from Viper Paintball. He runs the Living Legends 5 event along with Sean Scott from CPX Sports. So those are the two key gentlemen. Them and their staff are just amazing. They make it just a fun time for all. So as we pan around here again, you can see the facilities here, CPX Sports, and just see kind of the vastness of CPX. Now that building up in the left, we got the mini map, and that building kind of at the bottom of the map, that's where you check in, get your player's card. You have to have that on you at all times, and that's your pass for playing. So just put it on a lanyard and wear that all the time, and you get the other materials that you got for registering. There's a truck for paint on the way in on the right, you can't miss it. And here kind of off to the left, or actually kind of more dead center behind the building, but sort of off to the left after you walk in, is where you fill up with air, and you'll get a little zip tie with a marker on it when you pay for your air tank. It's around $15 per tank for the weekend. So you just zip that on your tank, and you can go fill up 4,500 or 3,000 when you're all set. Make sure you get right down to the Chrono range and get your gun chronoed. There are around 1,700 players this year. Next year, I'm sure there'll be more, around 2,000 or more. You just want to get these tasks out of the way, get ready to play right off the bat. Don't waste any time, because if not, you're going to be in line wasting tons of time. So first thing you do, just get your setup going, chronoed, and when you're at the chrono, I'm going to keep it under 280 for your regular markers. If you're playing pump, you can do 300 feet per second. And ref, once he's happy, he'll punch a card, which shows that you've chronoed with a marker. You're good to go. Make sure you put on your barrel blocking device. And of course, mask down inside that chrono range. And when you leave, you can take your mask off. And so let's cruise on up here. You see me booking it? No, fast forwarding it up here. You can see the picnic areas. Plenty of places to lay your stuff out. Make a home base. On the left there, you see Viper Command Center. That's where you can check in about any game details, questions for Viper, his staff. Out on the right here, where the Budweiser kind of deck is, that's kind of your drinking area. No paintball gears allowed up there. And you can see Tech PB, they actually had a ice sculpture come in, and they've got a luge for drinking that they made. So that was pretty interesting. Good times for them. See the Devil Dogs off to the left. So you see each team, major team, kind of has their own kind of spot that they set up. Um, the spot that we set up, where you can find me, is generally down with the Northern Gunman, down behind these bleachers here on the right, past the porta potties. Tech PB is usually before that on the right there, with that cluster of tables and benches and tents. You see the Citrus Connection guys, a bunch of heavyweight players there. They're on our side, just doing some work all weekend. And over here is the Horde's command center. I was on the Horde side, winning side, I should mention. There was some confusion at the end, but the Horde won. And there's our commander, Sniper Wolf, and some of his key people. So as soon as you get everything chronoed, aired up, in terms of your marker, you want to go get your player tape. You have to wear this on, and there's rules every year. They might vary for next year, but that year you had to have it on your right or left arm. You had to have that band, had to be clearly shown, and then you had a band that you would put for your squad designation would be attached to the back of your mask. You'll have to show them your player badge. They give me a hard time because they sort of know who I am. But we don't want anybody infiltrating, so they'll make you prove that you're on the team. Then you're ready to play. You're ready to go. So get that done right away. The team that has the most players on the opening charge is really going to have an advantage to take the most, grab the most land. Get over to the orientation. That's what you're seeing here. There'll be announcements, rules overview, gameplay overview, introduction of the generals, prizes. Here's your announcing. The player, your badge has a number on it, and that number is what they use to award prizes. So another good reason to have your badge on you at all times. And you got to be there, and you got to step up quick, or else they'll just move on to the next person. See on the mini map there, that's staging area. And there's the building where you register off to the left there. You get your player materials, there's restrooms, and a pro shop.
Scholarship for paintball, which is amazing. Tiberius is giving this marker to them to raffle off so that they can make extra money for their program.
So you can see just a huge number of players, all awesome people.
We just started this program.
And there's so many good charity kinds of fundraising things going on, giveaways, shout outs to the military for their support, and thanks to them. So it's just a great event. So that's the opening ceremonies. Maybe see yourself in the crowd there, maybe not. Make sure you attend that and get everything ready before that, so you're ready to roll. Don't mess around and think you're going to go after that and get everything taken care of, because if you make that mistake, you're going to be in line with at least a few hundred other players, and wasting a bunch of time and possibly putting your team at a disadvantage for the opening charge. So let's go on to my first game. These games are going to be all me with my head cam on. Shad and Sean actually do have head cams as well, and we'll have videos featuring their playing, and I hope you'll enjoy those. But let's take a look at just my first day here. This is day 1, Saturday, and this is the first game that I caught on camera. You're going to enter the field through 2 different locations. You've got down on the left hand side. The names change every year, so this map, the names will be different next year based on the theme. This year's theme was more of an end of world scenario, and so you had all these kind of Central American names, Mayan, Aztec kind of names. And so I actually entered down on the left hand side of the field by Zalapa, or however you pronounce that, and that's where we were spawning for Saturday. On Sunday you switch sides, so that's something important to note. So on Sunday we were inserting over by Honduras. So this is the larger map, and most of the games that you'll see here that I'm inserting, I'm leaving from down in the Zalapa area and heading out from there, and you can follow the rest from the mini map. So it's a little bit about that. Sometimes there's a bus running from down the road that connects those 2 points, and you do want to take the bus whenever possible because it's going to save you a lot of walking, and this is a duration event, endurance event, I should say. And so the more you can be getting rides down there and to your insertion points, the better, because you're going to be inserting over and over and over, and it can add up. The miles add up quick with that walking. So bus wasn't running. I don't know, there was some kind of overheating problem with it or something, and so everyone was walking this weekend. So it was a good time. Hopefully the bus will be going for Living Legends 6. I think that was probably their biggest complaint for Living Legends 5. So that gives you an idea what's going on here. You can see me just fast forwarding down here, going down, walking down the insertion point. And you can see kind of the crowds around there. This is our team. This is actually before the opening charge. And that's Murph. He was the key guy on our side. I believe he was the XO for Sniper Wolf. And there's Sean. Shad just asking about the respawn. So when you get shot out, you come back. You can come back to this area, which is kind of your medical center, your hospital, and the spawn point will either be open or closed. Which means if it's open, you can go right back and touch up with your base, which is down in the woods here on the left for this location, and just start playing again. If it's closed, you just have to wait till it opens. Again, it's time based, and then you can go right back in and tag up. So you don't have to walk all the way back unless you need paint or air. So you just want to keep coming back to this location. If you can, go right back in, wipe off your hits, and go right back in, or wait for the next spawn insertion. So you can see they actually had some water there, so let's create a CPX.
What's that? If it's closed, you sit here. If you've got everything you need to play, you wait for it to open.
And this kid here, I forget his name. But it was his, I think it was like his third time playing, second or third time playing. He was just a champ. He was playing his heart out all weekend. We were on SAS's squad this year. I end up running with Citrus Connection and Tech BB a lot. It's just a matter of kind of who's at the insertion point when you go in with them. But certain missions you have to be with your team on, rumbles that they're called, where only your team's allowed to fight at certain locations. And so we started out, you can see there the tape on the back of the goggles there is designating your unit. And so that dark brown was our unit. It's SAS Woodsball, awesome guys, awesome players. Respect the game, respect each other. Can't say nice enough things about them. And SAS Necro is good, buddy. So we're all standing around getting ready to get started here. When you're down here and before everything gets going, you want to just go down and you want to shoot your marker off a couple times, of course away from everybody, just to make sure everything's working right. You don't want to get to through that opening charge and then realize you got a marker issue. So each squad has a mission. Ours was to head up through Bedlam and kind of secure Bedlam. And what happened is, as soon as the opening charge started here, my camera battery died. So you're not going to see me, but basically I went up. And my first game was pretty straightforward. I went up and made it to the corner of Bedlam, and what was happening is there were these group called the Jaguars, which could reinsert wherever they wanted, and they kept coming in the main gate, heading towards Bedlam, and they would just keep respawning themselves over and over. So they're trying to flank in behind our guys who took Bedlam. And so I just sat on the corner and sniped them every time they tried that, and kept them discouraged from coming up and flanking our guys. And then I was directing traffic, having our guys walk behind me in through the woods rather than in front in where the Jaguars, the Rippers, it was their team name actually. They had Jaguar kind of print on. That's how you knew who they were. The Rippers would just come in and light them up if they tried to cross in front of me in the open. So kind of on a trying to save players mission, because a lot of people didn't realize that these guys could just keep coming in and coming in and coming in. They were nuts, these guys. They must have got, I can't imagine the welts they had on them. So we're actually going to start out. Game one is actually my second insert.
That's funny. Some people just stand in the trail looking at it and in the garden. That's funny.
And Shad's one of his friends. We're so much alike. We grew up together. We just naturally run into each other. We don't even really have to look for each other. We'll just be in the same spot.
I ended up staying at the bottom of the hill when I got in the woods. I crawled in.
Yeah,
I started sniping people.
I ran out ahead over that hill and I got hit, but there was medic right there, and I kept going.
So, cruising on down the road here. Minimap wasn't working for some reason. GPS wasn't connected.
What do we got? We gotta go right. We gotta get to that point. We gotta cut through the woods, or we gotta go to the road.
So just following orders here, going down the road.
All right. Oh, incoming! Incoming! Fire!
And we realized the woods right straight ahead are basically loaded with players. The other team is pushed all the way up. So we're gonna work cut out for us. We're supposed to head up to quite a ways, up to where the Aztec ruins are, and there's this big hill with a tunnel through it.
Yeah, I know.
So I make my move. Trying to push in through the tree line here. There's a bunch of people in there that were going to light us up. So me and this other guy make our move. We're kind of the first in line, and you can see I get tagged there in the camera. So that's my first game. I actually played on a little after that because I didn't realize I was hit. There was so much shooting going on, so that's common. Don't feel bad if that happens to you, especially if you're wearing a head cam or something and you don't hear it, because it happens to the best of us, whether they admit it or not. It's really easy when there's tons of shooting going on. It's really intense, and there's so many players to not realize you got a hit on you, and so you just got to rely on your teammates to point them out to you, and the refs definitely, they're everywhere. So I think in general it all balances out, but just do the best you can. That's all you can do. So here's game number 2 that I got captured. Let's take a look. This one, basically we're going in, same insertion point, and then we're going to head up towards Oaxaca, or however you pronounce that. And so you're going to head up. Got a whole walk down here. You can see the long walk to the insertion point. Kind of tag up, and it's open. Once you tag up, you can see here we got a 30-second wait.
Okay, guys, 30 seconds. Get in there if you got them.
And we're headed to Topal.
30 seconds. Right to Topal. To Topal. Check in. Right to
It's actually headed to the temple area. Sorry.
Topal.
My bad. Not through those hyperball fields. You can see me heading down through here with my squad on the mini map, and we're heading all the way along the side here. We're heading back toward Topal, which is way down on the map. And so we kind of cut left down through the trenches and meet up with our squad, which is there's a lot of people from Citrus Connection. You'll see here. There's Dub Geek. And they've got getting ready to make some moves here. There's some snipers up on the ridge. So putting out the Shad because he has first strikes.
There's only a couple guys on the hill.
And we basically got to flank in through here to get up through, clean this woods area out. We have some guys up on the ridge, but there's just a giant wall of our players going across this area up over the ridge and then hitting into their team. So no one can make it to Topal until we kind of break through this cluster. I make my move to a tree, and I get sniped right away. Hats off to that shot. That was just a beautiful shot. He hit me right in the head, so I couldn't call medic. If you don't get hit in the head, basically you just want to call medic, and one of these guys, there's a medic, will come up and they'll take your player card number, and you can play on.
Yeah.
But if you get a headshot, you gotta call it out. You gotta leave. The chat's like, you hit already? I'm like, yeah, I'm hit. That's it. So, quick game, quick insert there. A lot of walking, you can see, just for a minimal time playing. But hey, the other team, good players. Hats off. Got some good snipers. Probably some of the best players in paintball are here for Living Legends. So third insert. This is the one where we're going to head up to Oaxaca. And you'll see, kind of cruising through the mini-map here, we're heading crossed towards the hyperball field. And there it is, going in through the hyperball field. And we make contact where the other team's up in the air bunkers.
Play smart, keep it together.
So just working my way up here slowly, trying to see what's going on. That's a badass. Get dual line setup. It's pretty cool with pistols.
Let me out here, man.
I've got an Apex 2, so I got quite the range. And on Saturday I was using the DM6. Sunday I switched to the Etha. With that Apex 2, I could actually shoot from where the air bunkers are up ahead there, straight across in through the windows in Bedlam. I know you find it hard to believe, but you can actually shoot that accurately, that distance. So definitely worth an Apex 2. I recommend them for Living Legends, because quite often you are shooting vast distances at the enemy lines in open areas. Those are just the contact areas you hit are on the road, or here coming out of Bedlam or going into Bedlam. These are two common pinch points up here in this kind of picnic area where those air bunkers are, and down on the road.
Reload. They're around that corner.
So you can see on the mini map there, kind of where I am. You see the chrono range. You know, the GPS is actually pretty damn accurate. It looks like I'm in the nets there, in the chrono range nets. I'm not. I'm right beside them. And I'm trying to hook them in over those air bunkers you see up there on the right. So just pushing up, moving my way up here. Laying down some cover for that guy. Hats off to the guys that push up. He made his move. I believe 13 balls per second is the cap. You can go ramp if you want, but you got to cap it at 13.
Got some people flanking the left.
Quite often, we're out here in the hyperball, we get flanked through the woods, and all of a sudden you'll have people shooting at you from the woods. If we don't hold that woods on the left there, we can lose the whole hyperball field quick.
We need people watching.
So just letting people know that we saw people going down into the woods. And you don't have any shot on them from the open. You can't see into the woods really, so you have to throw people in the woods to drive them out. So I see my buddy up there got out, so I went to make my move to that bunker and realized, hey, I'm old. I'm not that fast anymore. I get shot out. So this is a pretty good push up through here. And so there's three of my matches with a little bit of overview on what to do for Living Legends. And hopefully you enjoyed it. There's more to come, more excitement. We got Shad and Sean's footage as well as mine for Sunday. And hope you enjoyed it. There's a CPX ref, hats off, the best refs in the business, I'd say.
I'm out.
And make sure you got your barrel blocker on before you leave. It's easy to forget those and you walk out, and it's pretty scary actually.
How can I get out
Refs
of
are your
here?
best source of information. You get lost, don't know where to go. You want the quickest way out, ask them, they'll tell you.
Okay.
So I'll walk out from this point, and that's it.
Thank you.
So thank you all for watching. Sorry this took a little while to get to, but only one guy and I got a lot of videos to make. As I'm walking out here, you'll see the guys that I was shooting at behind the bunker, and get a better idea of why I was arcing those balls in over there. You can see there's a bunch of them camped out back there, holding their line. So, thanks. Take care.
Uh-huh. is the tune, make everybody tear. Breathe the moon, inhale the light year. Who's the goons that's ready to fight beers in the booth?